Unemployment is by design. There's nothing natural about unemployment. Under neoliberalism, we have unemployment because it benefits the rich and powerful. They want wages low because they want prices low. And they want workers to be fighting with one another for jobs. So they could have all the wealth and power for themselves. They do give some power and wealth to other people. That's how they keep the system running. But this whole economic system of neoliberalism is destructive. It's anti-life. It's extremely narcissistic. It's completely amoral, which I have no idea why there's a lot of Christian conservatives who love neoliberalism. Neoliberalism has nothing to do with Christianity. I'm not a really religious guy. I do believe in God, and I do believe in like certain absolute things. I do have my belief systems. I do, you know, I do me. But neoliberalism is anti-Christian, anti-life, anti-human, anti-community. There's no reason why anyone should be homeless. There's no reason why anyone should be subservient to another person just so they could live a comfortable life. I actually have a book I didn't start reading yet, but it's called Universal Housing. And it was actually written by a real estate venture capitalist. So this universal housing is it sounds like communistic, very into the community, or commune, or community, or just thinking about the community, communist, in the traditional, like 19th century term, what communism was, not the monstrosity of the 20th century. That's another story. About anti-communist in that sense. Especially Trotsky. Trotsky was Looney Tunes, in my opinion. But let me read you just some thing like this. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just read you the back of this. Quote, achievable and affordable housing for people at all economic levels is critical for both the economic growth and success of the individual and our communities. Hyman provides timely and impressive insight and perspective on potential solutions. End quote. Don Cunningham, President and CEO of Lehigh Valley Economic Development Corporation. In the near future, we are likely to see 50% of the world's jobs disappear due to the automation bomb. What does this mean? No job is safe. What does that mean? These individuals who lose their jobs will not be able to afford the basic cost of living. How will we house these people as they increasingly lose their jobs? Universal Housing, How to Revitalize Cities and Rebuild the American Dream is a guide to current and future developers, bourgeois capitalist developers, middle-class developers, the people who invest money. This is not like, communist book. This is like universal housing should be the goal of every empathetic human being. Whether you're on the right, whether you're in the center, like me, I'm a progressive Republican. I'm a Teddy Roosevelt Republican. On economic questions, I'm pretty much far left a lot of times. but generally I am a moderate conservative. I definitely have conservative tendencies in a lot of ways, but I'm also a progressive. But and yeah, this well, I'm not gonna read you the whole thing, but let me read you something about the author. Uh, Julia Hyman, born and raised in Allentown, Pennsylvania, has always loved giving back to her community. Growing up immersed in her father's real estate business that constructs affordable housing, uh, Hyman developed a connection with the industry. So, even if you're like, a right wing Reaganite, which is Reaganism is not even traditional conservatism, it's pretty much neoliberalism on crack. But if you're like, more of the market oriented conservative liberal type, who believes in like the marketplace, I mean, you could still have the goal of universal housing. You don't need to be a Stalinist or a Marxist to live in universal housing or in humanity in general. And also, for my friends on the right, neoliberalism is not conservative. Uh, Capitalism or neoliberal capitalism has been a revolutionary destructive force. Uh, neoliberal capitalism was a product of the French Revolution. And the revolutionaries used capitalism to destroy the traditional feudal order. Now, I'm no fan of feudalism, but, and like, capitalism in a lot of ways was better than feudalism in some ways. But in other ways, feudalism was superior to capitalism. Like, under feudalism, peasants had a lot more days off. They had a lot more security. Uh, People had community. People actually got together and hung out. There was a more vibrant social culture, uh, a much healthier economic culture in some ways. Uh, Everyone had a place, everyone had a role. Uh, Peasants were peasants, knights were knights, kings were kings. Everyone knew their place, and everything really functioned well. Now, I'm not saying we should go back to feudalism. I'm just saying that feudalism was not all bad. Uh, our world is a very complicated world. Uh, Everything is a mix of light and dark, in my opinion. There's no individual who is completely light, and there's no individual who is completely dark. Uh, Everyone has evil in them, and everyone has good in them, and that's just my personal opinion. That's just my observation of the world, which is why I don't really judge people. I mean, I do judge people, but I don't at the same time. Uh, I recognize them as who they are, but I accept them. Like, my wife is extremely narcissistic, like, to the point that it's a personality disorder. Like, she is extremely self-destructive. And, I mean, if she continues on her path, then in, like, a few years or 10 years, I don't know where she'd be. I mean, like, it's just scary, because it's extremely self-destructive. But I mean, everyone has some personality disorder or personality quirk that they need to work on, or maybe they need to figure out. Like, I have some avoidant personality traits, uh, but not to the extent I have a disorder. I mean, I just don't like dealing with people. I don't like talking to people. Maybe it's because of the quality of the people, but I like people. I love people, and I have no problem like talking to people. But I definitely avoid people. I definitely go out of my way to avoid people. Uh, I'm an introvert, uh, but I'm a social introvert. I'm a INFJ. I love people, but it's not. Well, maybe it's not. I don't think I have avoidant tendencies. Maybe I just don't like. A lot of times I don't want to impose myself on other people. I don't want to be a burden on other people in a lot of ways. And that's just my mindset. I don't want to bother other people. I don't want to be like that annoying guy that goes up to someone and like annoys them or just waste their time or just. It's like, that's just. If I see someone, I just like, okay, cool. And I have no problem talking to me. I mean, like, I have a friend. Well, I have a lot of friends. But I have a friend that, I could be like just chilling out, like listening, like have my earphones on, like listening to music. But when he comes into the room, I take my earphones out and we just have a conversation and we just talk for hours upon hours. Like sometimes uh, I just go into his office and sit down and we talk for hours and hours and hours about stuff. I work in education. And I mean, like some people are like in the building 24/7. Other people are not. They work in multiple schools, and one of my friends works in multiple schools, and that's the guy I'm talking about. We could just talk. We could just like, oh, cool. Hey, man, how's it going? And we could just talk about random stuff. We could like seriously sit in a room for like 8 hours straight with lunch, and we could just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And after hours, we could even go to a restaurant or something and just talk some more. Uh, that's good. I mean, it's a good thing to have. But I don't know. This video has been completely random. But I don't know if anyone even watches my stuff. I mean, I know Holly does. Holly does. Sue does. Uh, I mean, there's a few people who I know definitely follow what I had to say. Other people, not so much. But, all right. Peace out, Cub Scouts.